Okay. Hopefully this is live. It's running live. The mic seems to be on. We're going to try to broadcast this live again, and everything seems to be up and running. So, and I'm going to check through my phone before I start talking. Let's see. Let's see. And as you come on, let me know if you could hear me. Let me know if you could hear me. Okay. So I am apparently on live right now. Ooh boy. Usually the first take is a rough one. It's like being on a wild bull. You get kicked off the minute you get out of the gate. So I'm now back. I am the podcaster, originator of Clear Blue Radiance. I'm Brother Francis E. Revels-Bey. I'm broadcasting, podcasting live every Thursday, usually at 1 p.m. Uh, I had a feeling to come on a little after 1 p.m. Okay, thank you, Amber. And so here I am every Thursday as much as I can. This is an opportunity to share a lot of information that I have studied, learned, experienced many times. To be able to share this information that's very metaphysical and spiritual at the same time. I'm all about sharing the light. I'm also the founder of the Circle of Grace One, which was established on July 2nd, 1974, and firmly seated into place 25 years later. Hey, good afternoon, Barbara. 25 years later, into the earth plane here and being able to share it in the tri-state area when I used to live in New York on Long Island. So sharing it Long Island, all of New York City, upstate New York, especially Westchester County area, some parts of Connecticut, and also down in New Jersey. And I've been here about 12 years, and I'm still broadcasting live in on my YouTube channel. But after being affiliated with the owner Michelle Vidal's Resident Essentials, I'm one of the practitioners still around, being able to share this wisdom. And we decided, I believe it was about 2.5 years ago, to come on and create a podcast. And she has her podcast, which is Resident Essentials Esoteric School of Metaphysics. And then there's what I'm doing. So today's topic is the importance of meditation. That's the short version. The full title is The Importance of Meditation is to unite your breath with your heart. And today's date is the 7th of March, 2024. I've been a spiritual counselor for over 40 plus years, still kicking, still around. Woo! I think next week, is it next week? Next week, and Saturday, I'll hit 72 and I'll be happy with that. I'm going to teach, as usual, my Saturday meditation, and I don't know what I'm going to do after that. Probably go to sleep. So, I've been this spiritual counselor, and I enjoy helping people such as yourself gain greater clarity in your life and define your purpose. Now, purpose is what your life's intention is, and our purpose changes as we change. So, 20 years ago, you were doing something else, and that was your purpose, or you were still trying to discover your purpose. And maybe 10 years ago, you discovered something about yourself and your purpose. And now you're having this golden opportunity to become more of yourself. And what you notice right now, since I just came out with this book called Radiant Heart, Seven Amazing Pathways to Connect, Activate, and Communicate with Your Higher Self, what you're going to see now all over the internet is people talking about their higher self. People are going to be talking about, am I in touch with my higher self? So a lot of my teachings now are going to be geared toward that. Not just the book, but geared toward the fact that we need to understand this And we also need to know that we can outgrow the lane that we are in because it's expanding, and we find ourselves getting bombarded with news media, radio, cable TV. Now you got a handheld computer for the past 20, 30 years called a cell phone. So you be getting all these radiations of information. Some of them are good and some of them are not. Okay. And then we're being bombarded with the kinds of foods that we eat. If we're not eating properly, I'm one of them. If you're not eating properly all the time, you're slowing down your vibration. So it's highly important to keep our vibration, our frequency high as much as we can. And I'm going to give you a technique. It's an original creative path work technique. In fact, it's going to be channeled live because I don't even know what it is, but I saw a glimpse of it while I was typing out my notes. Well, let's first define what is meditation. That's very important. I know you've heard me talk about this numerous times as to what meditation could be. Meditation is definitely not sitting down and thinking. You're not contemplating anything. Meditation involves the act of finding your center of being, Being. But there's a second question. There's a question that arises in that. And the question is, being what? What are you striving to be, striving to become so that you could be this energy that you speak about? Well, the answer is you're striving through your meditation to be aware that you are present. That's one. Open. That's two. Aware. That's three. That you remember. That's four. What? Your divinity, which is five. So, the purpose of meditation is to get you back in to the resource of your divinity, to realize who you are, to no longer have any doubt. So, this opportunity is always a blessing when it involves your breath and deep breathing. Now, we know if we don't breathe deep enough, we get congestion. Congestion builds up within the lungs and the bronchial tubes, in the back of your throat, along your tongue, up in your jaw. All of that stuff never leaves you because you're not breathing properly. We're not letting it go. And we have to learn how to let that energy, that blocked energy, break it up and release it. Now, it is even a greater blessing when we are using it through our heart center. I call it the heart center, others call it heart chakra. Chakra means a Sanskrit word, East Indian Sanskrit word that means wheel of light, meaning energy. We are constantly having this energy around our auric field, and that word aura was first created by the late Edgar Casey, who was a trance medium, and his family founded through him the ARE, which is the Association of Research and Enlightenment. And so they're right down there in Virginia Beach, Virginia. It's a great place to go attend. Many times I thought of going to the Atlantic University, which is right down there connected, which has a lot to do with their work. So it's all about uniting, bringing together how you breathe with your heart. Your heart is always giving off energy. Your heart is always the receiver of energy. Your heart gives off energy and it receives energy. That's why I call my book Radiant Heart, because it's constantly pulsating. You can put your hand either on the side of your neck or right over your heart, your sternum. You could feel it beating through your sternum. You could do that thing that nurses do, right? Where they put the two fingers across somewhere in here and they pick up the pulse, the pulsation of the blood going through your body, which is being generated by your heart. So if the heart is doing that, and we can actually feel that, we don't often feel the brain pulsating. We use machines for that, where they can see your sine waves up and down, your peaks and your valleys, which they call, it was discovered by a German scientist called, his last name was Hertz, Hertz. And he discovered that going up and down of your brainwave levels gives off certain frequencies. Now, the ones that we deal with all the time are called beta, alpha, theta, and delta. Now, my thing is beta and alpha should be switched around, because al is one, alpha is one, beta is two, theta is Greek. They're Greek words, three, and delta means four. So there's four levels, but there's also a fifth one called gamma, and gamma is even more high pace than the beta level. The beta level, brainwave level, is around 20 hertz cycles, somewhere in there, 21 hertz. And then alpha flips down to 13 to 21, right in there, 12. And then it gets a little lower, down between four cycles and going into that 12 range. That is the theta. And then you get the, or four to seven, and then you get into delta. Delta's like literally, I call it comatose stage. You look like you're barely breathing, and your brainwave levels are super slow. That's where we are experience out of body, more out of body experiences between the theta world and the one I just mentioned, delta. So we're constantly going in and out of these frequencies, and it takes a little while to get into them. Well, it's the same when you're doing meditation. It takes you a little bit of time to get where you need to be in your meditation. Silence is the way to do it, the silent path, the middle road. Okay, but the other roads are sound, light in itself, focusing on light, sound, light as in sunlight, or creating in your mind the sensation of color vibrations, which already exist in the aura. You're just pulling them out through the process of visualization, which I call creative pathwork meditations. And so when you are busy trying to bring forth your divinity, you may not realize that sometimes it's a touch and go situation. Sometimes you're unaware if you're actually doing that. And often we have doubt that goes with that. And before you can get absolutely clear with it, so that you know that you're doing it, this is what you have to clear. You have to clear out the personal ego. Now, in my books that I wrote, the channeled book uh, of Beloved Akhenaten and Nefertiti, in the Akhenaten's book called The Wisdom of Akhenaten as I Am, he calls yourself becoming an open door. But he also said you had to deal with the miscreated ego. It's fractured. It's not completely destroyed, it's fractured. And what that means is that it's somewhat dangling off from your true self, which is your higher self. So we have to learn how to tame it again, because it's running amok. It's running all over throughout your auric field. It is that part of you that wants to claim the I am, but you don't have any humility. You're devastated by fear, by doubt, by illusions, by illusory thinking. In other words, you are saying you are when you aren't. That's what happens. We become what we think we are, but we're also been overwhelmed and stressed out with anxiety by other people's wills, other people willing themselves onto you to block your direction of thought, purity, direction of feeling that you have, the levels of sensation that you can go into it and bring out. And so you have to work hard on bringing that together, to bringing that up and out of your system. But what it happens is we often fall into too much thinking, too much analysis. In fact, overthinking. We have worry and anxiety, and then we have stress that's sitting in the frequency that we have to clear out. And we don't clear it out as it sits in the mental realm of ourselves, it will soon or later trickle down into our emotional body where we begin to feel it. And then we begin to feel what that stress is like. Often our doubts and fears will resurface right in the emotional body. That's when you start becoming mentally depressed, chaotic in your thinking, or your emotions are whacked out. Maybe you're walking around with a lot of anger and things of that nature. So we have to work on that part. And sometimes we don't want to show that part to the world. When we're not doing so, it is called shadow work because it's underneath the radar, so to speak. And so we have to go underneath the radar, underneath the conscious, into the subconscious and begin to make changes there. Because in your subconscious, if you could clear it and make it very distinctively clear, it will begin to reflect the data, the universal data that's flowing around you, the God mind, the I am presence. And so you're trying to, like, clean house, sweep it out, sweep out the old to let the new come through. Okay. And it's not so much, we used to use these catchphrases. I'm downloading, like the frequency. Well, what happens is you got your own frequency. Everybody has their own circuitry of energy. So what happens is what you're trying to download is actually upload because it's on the inside of you. You have to come to the awareness, the understanding that all that you're looking for is inside of you. And the reason why we see the world the way that it is, with its ups and its downs and its violence and all this other stuff, because we're constantly being bombarded by news media. We're constantly being bombarded by the internet with it. We're constantly being bombarded by people who are carrying that as a message. People are carrying what they see in the world, what they see on the news. They become the carrier of that information, whether they talk about it or not. It takes over their frequency of thinking. It lowers their frequency, their vibration, till it becomes to a halt. And now they become the messenger because they're talking about propaganda and conspiracy theories. They're talking about things that aren't true. They're talking about things that disempower you. This is why it's so important for each one of us, no matter wherever we are in the world, to find a moment, a space where we can develop, recreate, go back into our real selves, which is our higher selves, and live from there. Now, in order to live from there, you've got to find how to breathe, because your breathing will save you from a lot of things. Your breathing, the way that you breathe, will help you gain more confidence in yourself. The way that you breathe will also help you tame the miscreated ego. The way that you breathe will also slow down and annihilate any fears, any doubts, any illusions that you are walking around in your heart, around your heart, around the different meridian points throughout your body and all of the chakras. This is why people practice diligently yoga, some form of yoga. This is why people practice Qigong, Chinese yoga, Tai Chi, do some martial arts training. Why? Because it gets the body to become energetic and fearless. It won't carry any fear. That's why if you have your children involved in martial arts, they learn how to deal with adversities. One of the adversities they're dealing with all the time is how to do a proper technique, how to be rooted into the ground when they throw the technique. But guess what? They also have to train the mind to not be worried about being defeated when they have an opponent in front of them. They have to learn how to adjust to energy, frequency, the vibrations going around them that they have to walk through. This is important. So, this is why we say we need better rest. Sometimes we need a lot of sleep. Sometimes we don't need sleep. We need to be present. Yeah, we need sleep, but we need to be present that we need to sleep. Because there's a lot of things out here that are telling you go to sleep, go to sleep, go to sleep, go to sleep. And that's not any of your thinking. That's some AI stuff created to keep you from going forward, to keep you from going with inside yourself. So, yes, artificial intelligence, AI is important, but so are you. The cell phone is important to be able a mechanism of communication. The laptop, the desktop is a way that we can connect throughout the world. That's why they call it WWW, Worldwide Internet. But all of this stuff is based on us. Your motherboard is your heart chakra. The computer is your brain, the rest of it. And your lungs are important. Your adrenal glands and your kidneys are important. Your liver, your pancreas, your gallbladder, all of those things are important. If we can keep the weight off and keep the weight down, what will happen? We will develop more energy. This is important. So once we do that, the ego, the me side, the little side that's screaming me, or better yet, if you want to call it your sacred internal child, you must tame it and let it reunite with the higher self, which is the great I am in us, in all of us, as the outpouring energy. So your heart is continuously telling the world, I love you. Your heart is continuously to say, I want to bridge the gap. Your heart is continuously saying, we are one. But at the same time, we have to shield it because there's a lot of nastiness around us, right? There's a lot of people thinking the exact opposite. Think of politicians. All they want to do is get back in the seat and rule over a whole bunch of people and bring on nonsense. But guess what? There are all these parallel universes going on. There's now called referred to as the multiverse, the quantum universe. So there's going to be some lanes where that will happen, and there's going to be some lanes where you are far removed from it. When you become far removed from it, you no longer experience what the rest of the world will experience. You will only see what is in your world because you're consciously and constantly creating a new world by new thoughts and new feelings and new responses and new actions. Your higher self contains all infinite realms and levels of higher consciousness. It has it all. Your higher self is the oversoul of your soul. That's why I was explaining to one of my students the other day. Barbara was on here. We were talking about it in one of my sessions, and your soul traveling, and then people talk about astral traveling. We use the soul to travel with so we can go beyond the astral belt, because in the astral belt is the lower frequencies, the fears and the doubts and the angers and the misconceptions. All of that is floating around. We're trying to break through that. We're trying to open up that auric field so we can see into other fields of energy around us. So the reflection that we see in a mirror is the outward vehicle of our higher self. Oh, I have it right here. Let me read it. The reflection we see in the mirror is the outward vehicle our higher self uses to express itself. But when we overanalyze, think too much, have doubt, shame, guilt, or fear with low self esteem arising within us, we're blocked, you see. So we must work on clearing those elements away, for they are the shadow side of ourselves, the shadow self. That which is hidden within us that comes up as a miscreated, or better yet, distorted ego. When you realize that the ego is distorted, you got to bring it back together. So, as we remember not to fall into the abyss of not knowing and climb up upon the mountaintop of unconditional love, compassion, and light, with grace being our divine aegis, meaning divine wings, strapped on our back. Every time we go through our peaks and valleys, we are being recalibrated. Let me say that again. Every time we're going through our ups and downs, we are being recalibrated and reset for true greatness to emerge. That's why we have this going up. And we've agreed to it eons ago. Our higher selves convened to set together. We're going to go into this thing called Earth, and we're going to take millions of man made years to recalibrate and reset it, to recalibrate and reset the souls that will be going in there. Because when they awaken in there, one of the game rules is when you awaken as a child in that space or you awaken as an adult in that space, you no longer remember why you came in there. So when you don't remember anything, meditation helps you to remember. Doing yoga helps you to remember. Exercises help you get clear to remember. Tai Chi, whatever, to remember. Every time we go through this, we're being recalibrated and reset for true greatness to emerge. True greatness, not man made greatness, true greatness to emerge. Our prayers are intentional and leads us out of our own field of darkness, of unknowing. It is now time to arise and do what? It's now to arise and shine bright. And when you're shining bright, others are trying to keep you from doing so. It is our time to become a transformational being of new light for ourselves and loved ones. In my book, The Transformational Being is called the Transcendental Self, which means to go above and beyond, to clear the static in our mind from taking on low energy. We must get really clear and continue to raise our frequency throughout our place of residence and then extend it to flow around the neighborhood, around the county, around the state, around the country, across the pond, across all waters, globally. Now, the unique thing is we're not the only ones striving to do this. There are other thousands upon thousands of people throughout this country, throughout your state, that get together to do this one thing, to be able to open up and bless the planet with a higher frequency of unconditional love, compassion, divine grace, you name it, peace, harmony, greater health and wellness, all of this stuff. If each person can do it on whatever level that they are told from their higher self to do it, it shall be done. They don't have to question anything. So we must get really clear and continue to raise our frequency with ourselves. Now, guided meditation has its part. It's a deep level of importance in your quest to become a beacon light. That's why at times you need to use guided meditations, guided visualizations. First of all, you exercise the brain cells. By doing that, you get a chance to expand, to grow new brain folds in there, new synapses, everything, to make yourself new again. So it reminds you, guided meditation helps to remind you just how powerful you are with your creative thinking and creative feeling. Your third eye, known as the pineal gland, connects you to your right and left eye. So it is like an invisible triangle coming from the third eye down into your physical eyes. It also connects you not only to your right and your left eye, but your right and left hemisphere, as well as the back lobe and the front lobe, and so on. So today I want to download or upload this original creative pathwork meditation with you. And it would be nice if you could have a mirror in front of you. But if not, imagine that you do have a mirror in front of you. Take a deep breath and relax. Inhaling through the nose and releasing the breath through the mouth. Each inhalation and exhalation counts as one cycle of breathing. Allow yourself to relax and rest. Allow yourself to feel a sense of oneness, freshness, a renewed sense of being. Tell yourself in your mind, I am absolutely clear. My intentions are clear. My words, my feelings are clear. I am no longer doubting my existence. I'm no longer doubting who I am. I am being present in this moment. I am consciously aware and I am subconsciously aware that I am present in this moment. And I am the expression, the higher expression of divinity as my higher self. So I want you to envision that your pineal gland from within inside you is a radiant sun, and in that sun is a heartbeat. And it is united with the rhythm of your breathing. That means your heart is beating 1 second within cycles of breathing. You can feel it and count to that rhythm. That is your heart pulse going on. And as you inhale upon it, you envision light traveling up through your body, up from the depths of your body, from your tailbone, your first chakra, all the way up your spine, embracing it, going around the spine, braiding the energy that's coming up. One side is lunar, one side is solar energy. And as it comes up, it emerges through your eyes and crosses and connects into the brow center, the pineal gland. You could see it as well as feel its presence, making a connection with your right eye and your left eye. Continue to breathe deeply, allowing yourself to relax inside the rhythm that you have established in this creative path work meditation. You might be thinking, what is this meditation called? Well, it's being channeled up, so it's being called the divine triangle. This divine triangle exists throughout your body. You feel the level of oneness inside of yourself. You feel at peace with yourself. You don't feel as though you're struggling because you are simply your divine self. You are this transformational being. You are traveling in the energy of oneness and unity. Because if you're not breathing, you're not healthy in the mind and in the body. Because as we breathe, we're doing what? We're pulling in oxygen pellets, oxygen nanolights, fiats of oxygen right out of the air, redirecting it with your mind, your intentional thought, and breathing to the point that you just have one eye and the other two eyes are used as reflectors. Right about now, your breathing will begin to slow down because it has to match the pulsation, the frequency of the brain wavelengths that are happening right now. I want you to keep feeling that energy. Keep knowing that energy is bringing you absolute peace, harmony, and happiness. As you inhale, you can feel all of that light, particles of light, travel into your lungs and bronchial tubes, out through behind your lungs and traveling into the heart and traveling into the liver and the stomach and all of the points from within. There's a sense of greatness. And you don't have to dig outside yourself. It is always present from within yourself. Your inner being is who you say that you are. You are the divine essence, the divine expression of your higher self. And you are always being one with that. You're not lost. You're at peace with your higher self. I'm going to say that again. You're not lost. You're at peace with your higher self. Why? Because you are the expression of your own divinity. That's who you've always been. You are the expression of your own divinity. You are the internal expression and the external expression. You are the brainwave level. You are the heart pulsating all times. You are the breath at all times. Stay focused on your breathing and be in the present moment, because from the present moment, you create change. From the present moment, you create that which you're giving birth to. See, we're always in the state of manifestation of an idea in the head, but through the heart center, we're in the state of materializing our thoughts, materializing our visions that were seen on the horizons. You are becoming the living matrix, the living womb on earth, and they shall link up accordingly with other frequencies that are on the same level, the same energy level, higher or lower, but the same energy level, and you will draw that which is right and correct for you. This divine triangle meditation is designed to bring peace to the left hemisphere and the right hemisphere, the back lobe and the front lobe of your brain. That all pulsates in harmony like an orchestra with each other. They all are controlled by the heartbeat of each other. That's present. I want to thank you for joining me today here for Clear Blue Radiance about this specific meditation, divine triangle meditation. The importance of this topic, of the importance of meditation, is to unite your breath with your heart. If you live in Albuquerque, New Mexico, we have moved. Resident Essentials is in a temporary location right now, but we are doing what we need to do. We just change this world one person at a time, one thought, one feeling, and one plan. If you are in town Saturday, March the 9th, at Resident Essentials temporary location, which is the Yamaya Energy Center, YEMAYA Energy LLC, located at 8338 Comanche Boulevard Northeast, Suite D, which is a blue door facing Comanche, and the parking lot is behind on the side of the building. There is a parking lot that is behind the parking, another parking lot, which faces into Sweet Cups and Pokey Pokey, POKI, POKI. These are eating cafes, great places to go have lunch or breakfast if you so choose, or some dinner. So, this Saturday, as I do every Saturday, March the 9th from 11:30 a.m. to 12:30 p.m., I conduct my creative pathwork meditations. The class sizes, they vary anywhere from 2 people up to 8, 9, 10 people. I will be there along with Michelle Vidal, and we'll be sitting in meditation. And then at 1 p.m. to 3 p.m., the IONS organization will be there. That's the Institute of Noetic Sciences. They have a group here in Albuquerque. There is a Japanese fellow by the name of Norio Hayawaki, I believe his name is. And he's going to talk about UFO activity throughout New Mexico. And he's been a person that is, I would say, pretty much as an expert in that field. He's going to talk about the UFO activity that is well known around the Manzano mountain ranges here in the state of New Mexico. That's a donation from 1 p.m. to 3 p.m. To take my class from 11:30 a.m. to 12:30 p.m., it's just $10. And I'm welcome to take your debit cards, not your debt, your debit cards and your credit cards, as well as cash. Cash is a good thing. So it's just $10 for the hour. Then on Sunday, we'll be back there at that same address, Yamaya Energy LLC, 8338, yes, 8338 Comanche Boulevard Northeast. Those double master numbers in there. Suite D, blue door facing it, and there's like a metal ramp that takes you right up to the door. Okay, so we will be there on Sunday as well, March 10th from 12 p.m. to 5 p.m. with our psychic and healing fair. Now, the prices per reader, psychic reader, has changed. So everybody knows I do celestial I am drawings. My celestial I am drawings are now $40 for about a 30-minute to 45-minute session. Usually I can do it in 30 minutes, 35. I do a special drawing with colored pencils, and I'm drawing the energy that I can feel and see radiating through your auric field, and you get a reading that goes along with it. And I do the angle of grace, not the angel of grace, but the angle of grace, giving you a degree of grace as a reading. And I do that as well. So you can get that literally on my prices are $1 a minute. Most people have gone up to $1.50 a minute. So, but I'm there to give you that as well. So, and you can also take a quick numerology reading with me if you'd like to. There's going to be some other readers, and there are going to be some vendors there selling their goods, their jewelry, and so forth. Right now, I won't have any new books there. I will have some new books hopefully on hand by April, because I have books I have to mail out. So I've got to order at least 3 sets, which is about 30 books. And so I'll try to come in with 4 or 5 books of my new book, Radiant Heart, which you can get on Amazon. But if you need more information how to get one, how to get a autographed copy from me, email me at iam.circleofgrace1 at gmail.com. That's iam.circleofgrace1 at gmail.com. Or you can simply text me or call me 505-220-2583. So I want to thank you for tuning in and listening today. Amber, great to see you on. Hope to see you again soon. Miss you at meditation, but I know you're working. Um, Anybody, you can go on here and give them the link to replay this and listen to this. Thank you so much for your time. Have a great weekend coming up, a great tomorrow, which is Friday. I'll see you hopefully on here next Thursday. And I'm getting ready to celebrate my 72nd birthday on Saturday. I don't know what I'm going to do, but I know that within a day before, a day after, I'm getting a fresh vegan carrot cake delivered to me. So, everybody, thank you so much. Yeah, March 16th is my birthday. I turned 72, and I'm looking to get better and better and better. Uh, Maybe I get younger, hopefully. Anyway, thank you for your time. Peace, blessings. Until next time, remember that divine grace is a blessing as we're alive and well in the age of remembrance. Take care of yourself and do email me. Find out how you can get an autographed book. Okay. iam.circlegrace1 at gmail.com. Have a pleasant rest of your day. I'm going to go nosh a little bit, get a little rest.